Namaste. I'm delighted to welcome you all to this national webinar series, Yoga Ramayana Vishwakosha History, Proving Authenticity and History of Ramayana. Continuing our series on women characters in Ramayana, Dr. Divya Keshavamurthy ji will be continuing about the character Mandodari.
Rama realizes in the war that Ravana cannot be killed with any other ordinary arrows and it needs a special magical arrow. And related to this magical arrow, Valmiki's Ramayana narrates that the magical arrow was given to Rama by Indra in one version. In other versions, it is said that this magical arrow was hidden under the bed of Mandodari. And while Mandodari was engrossed in worshipping goddess Parvati, she was confronted with Hanuman. And Hanuman had come to her in the disguise of a Brahmin. Winning her confidence, he somehow tricks her into revealing the secret location of the arrow and takes it away from her. Because of which, the Ravana's death or Ravana's failure in the war became the reason. Mandodari, once the Ravana loses the battlefield, he loses his life. Mandodari appears at the death scene of Ravana in a disarrayed state. She laments his death. In this battle, Mandodari loses her husband, her son, and her kinsman. In Krittivasa's Bengali Ramayana, this high-minded queen of Lanka takes Sita to Rama after Ravana is killed. But then, like an ordinary woman, she is bewailing her husband's death. She also curses Rama's wife. Just as she is about to be united with him, she says to Sita, "You have been the cause of my loss. Will see your joy abruptly snatched by sorrow." When Mandodari appears at the scene of the death of Ravana, she is in an inconsolable grief situation. And this has been very lucidly explained in the Yuddha Kanda of Valmiki Ramayana. She recollects the power, the strength of Ravana and his exemplary qualities, one whom Indra could not have destroyed. She also laments that as brother of Kubera, he had no equal in terms of power and riches. But the problem was that he did not heed to the advices, the well-wishes, heed to the advice of the well-wishers of his own kingdom. She also laments that Ravana had the most beautiful ladies. When compared to Sita, Sita was not that beautiful to those kind of ladies that he had in his own harem. But still he was behind Sita, and this possibly could be because of that infatuation that he had. Probably she also feels that death does not touch any living entity without a reason, and Ravana's end was coming near, and Sita was instrumental for that. She says, "You brought Sita from far away. She became the cause of your death. Now she is free from sorrow, she will enjoy Rama." Thinking these thoughts made her to feel more pain about the separation, the loss of her husband. She curses both Rama and Sita. But even in that sorrow condition, she slowly regains her senses to know to whom she is talking to. And she realizes that Rama is none other than the Lord Vishnu. And in the very beginning itself, she knew, but her situation had overpowered her that she was in such a inconsolable condition. She had to lament like that because she had been separated from her husband, whom she was so proud of. She knew that Rama was Lord Vishnu in the very beginning itself when he had killed Kara and Dushana. And she also see that a mere monkey cannot cross the ocean like Lanka unless it is not supported by a divine force behind. She regretted the sinful deed that Ravana did to Rama by abducting a chaste and a pure woman like Sita, and stated, though he was a great conqueror of these three worlds, he did not develop that skill of conquering on his own senses. Rama did not wanted Mandodari to undergo that sati process because he knew that she is the most intelligent, the most wisest, and a capable woman. And he wanted Lanka to be well administered as well. So, on a long term plans, Rama then calls upon Vibhishna and requests him to perform the last rites of Ravana, console the grieving women folk, and get married to Mandodari. So there are many versions which speaks of the same thing. In many versions of Ramayana, after the death of Ravana, Rama advises Bibhishna to take Mandodari as his wife. Even though Bibhishna already has a wife, he still feels that Bibhishna should marry Mandodari because it is necessary to marry the reigning queen to get the right to rule. The marriage between Mandodari and Vibhishna is purely an act of a statesmanship rather than a marriage that takes place for a mutual sexual interference. It was not a marriage like that. The Ramayana of Valmiki is very silent on Mandodari's fate after Ravana's death. Her story is a reminder of the action of unfairly criticizing someone. Her voice goes unheard, unheeded in the whole of the epic. Mandodari, throughout her role play as a wife to Ravana, she felt that her duty to her husband on issues of morals and values just ended up with her telling him what he thought of his actions. She neither puts up any kind of brave fight to stop him, nor considered it her duty to do so. This was considered as probably the main flaw or the main weak point. When we analyze the two epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata, women and war has been the central plot of these stories. And the female characters like Mandodari and Gandhari in these stories have a stunning similarities yet an intriguing differences. Gandhari and Mandodari both are famous for self restraint and sacrifice that they have observed during their entire life. Both of them depict that the female characters, as a female characters, what role they have played, they are not the shadow of their respective husbands. Gandhari and Mandodari are also similar in the kind of tragic characters that they have been given to play. They are the most righteous, most pure in their nature, but they share a common sorrow that their righteous advice is never heeded by their husband. And also, another trait that they are the most dutiful and the faithful wives. Mandodari, in the whole epic of Ramayana, has always tried her best to show the right path to her husband, to overcome his self esteem, to care for his subjects, and return Sita to Rama with due honor. Similarly, Gandhari has always tried her best to direct her husband to be impartial, to fulfill his duty as a king, and to give a fair treatment to the Pandavas. Unfortunately, their respective husbands have made them suffer for their entire lives due to their greed of power and strong sense of revenge. A judgment of Gandhari and Mandodari about their kinsman enemy is very shrewd and correct. Their ability to recognize the strength of their kinsmen's enemies shows nobility as well as equanimity of their character. Both their sons have followed the wrong path in their life, which is influenced by their respective fathers. This shows that male dominance in the family and the fact that the mother has a subordinate role to play, it comes out about shaping the future of their children. But in spite of that, she is the first one to be blamed for spoiling children. Both of them had to suffer a sorrow of losing their son, who have followed the wrong path and have stood against the good. The irony is that their respective sons are great warriors, and as a warrior, it is their duty to protect the good, but they led the path towards the destruction. There is an intriguing, a very surprising difference between these mothers of villains of the story. Mandodari, considered as one of the five virgins, has the ability to redeem and rejuvenate. But Gandhari continues to rebel, reconcile, and has always been convicted by the society. Two Panchakanyas' advice has been continuously ignored by their husband. One was Tara, the wife of Bali, the monkey king, and the other was Mandodari, who saves Sita from being killed by Ravana's anger. And she advised him that it was a heinous sin to kill a woman. During the war in Lanka, Mandodari makes a last-ditch attempt to persuade Ravana to return Sita, but Ravana went on to battle with Rama and met his match. When we look at these kind of comparisons and we try to relate to the contemporary women, the lessons that could be learnt is the allegory of Ravana not heeding his wife's advice is similar to the bane of alcoholism that men have today, completely ignoring their wife's advice. The past teaches us to listen to our better halves. There are different vernacular versions of this epic which have shown that Tara and Mandodari are parallels. They both offer sound advice to their husband, but who recklessly reject it. And because of rejecting it, they suffer the ultimate. While Mandodari curses Sita that she will be abandoned by her husband, the same is done by Tara, where she compliments the same thing by giving a curse on Rama. Ramayana presents two types of women, one who is very devoted wife and one who is a virtuous mother who gives positive role models for the society, while the others are assertive, sexually independent women who lack in the positive qualities and serve as the negative examples. Sita, Mandodari, Kausalya, they represent the devoted wives and the virtuous mother. In case of Sita, she is the most silent, a passive, a helpless, but a very faithful heroine. As compared to the other women characters like Mandodari or Tara, her behavior is contrasted in many subtle ways. Unlike like Tara and Mandodari, who marry their husband's younger brother, Sita in her case leaves no room for any such admiration from Lakshmana, who is the Rama's younger brother. Lakshmana also equally responds in a similar way, not lifting his eyes towards his sister-in-law. In this way, it can be seen that Rama, along with his brothers, set an example for the new generation for an ideal monogamy behavior and a deep respect for the property rights of a husband over his wife. Sita, though passive, is called the silent heroine of the epic Ramayana as she refuses to bear Rama any child till he secures a throne. She, though abandoned, has a single parent, she brings up her son and finally returns to her mother's womb, thus establishing a female autonomy. Mandodari in the Ramayana is the last woman whose character contrasts with Sita. Mandodari was questioned on her chastity. Similar like Sita's situation, she swears by her fidelity, loyalty, and causes an earthquake and halts the sun's motion. When the fire is ready for her to go through, a woman tells Ravana that his charge on his wife Mandodari is baseless and she is blameless. For this, Mandodari is very extremely angry on her husband Ravana because she feels it is because of his act that she had to go through this. Mandodari, though born as a Rakshasi, being the daughter of Maya, she is always praised for her gentleness and she is immortalized as one of the Panchakanya. In an insightful article on Panchakanya, like the other four Kanyas, she, though being the epitome of chastity and purity, she is punished for no fault of hers. She loses husband, she loses son, she loses kith and kin, not to mention their dignity in the great war with the Rama. Knowing along that the curse of a virtuous woman can ruin the most powerful man. Through exploring and analyzing the women characters in the epic Ramayana, it can be understood in the language of patriarchy, the voices of the women characters are subjugated and marginalized and holds the women identity as weak, suppressed and inferior. The patriarchal and the male centered discourse sidelines the bravery, the ambition, the determination of the women by focusing entirely upon the valor and the grit of the mythical heroes. The message is very clear. Heroes are brave if they fight their enemies. Heroines are brave if they sacrifice themselves. The neglected traits of Mandodari's personality, her strength, wisdom, and strategy, Sama Dhama Danda Beda, is upholded by Varsha Adhalja, where Adhalja tries to bring light to Ravana's wife's character as a woman of immense knowledge and intelligence. Adalja speaks about her struggle, her capacity for intense ambition, her freedom and anger. She is depicted a woman of extraordinary knowledge and understanding. Adalja represents Mandodari in complete contrast to Sita. Where Sita embodies the typical Sati ideal, Mandodari epitomizes strength, power, wisdom that women possess. In conclusion, Mandodari is the character which is the personification of beauty, grace, and always walked the path of truth and righteousness. She stood by her husband in times of defeat and disgrace and has endeavored to change his vain and arrogant nature. She restrained him from committing the sin of killing Sita, exhorted him to return Sita to her lawful husband Ram. On many occasions, she faced her husband's wrath but never lost hope and continued her unflinching devotion towards him, advising him on the path of truth and duty. Her name has always been taken in reverence and praise as an epitome of womanhood. She always stood for what was right and questioned the immoral and the wrong actions around her. Hence, she is a noble woman to be remembered. On that note, I would like to thank the organizers of this webinar for giving me an opportunity to speak about this most beautiful character, Mandodari. With that, Hari Om, Dhanyavadaha.
Thank you, Dr. Divyaji. We'll come again tomorrow with another character. Namaste.